Is the MBTI personality system real? Companies use it, my university used to use it, and it sounds pretty cool. But how backed up by science is it really? Because despite there being a lot of lovers, there's also a lot of haters. One of these lovers slash believers is Emmy right here. Here's the experiment. We're asking a lot of believers and non-believers to take an MBTI test.
Social interaction comes to you, naturally or with effort?
With effort.
Are you more sensitive or impartial?
Sensitive.
However, there's a twist.
All right, your results are in.
Oh my god, I'm so stoked.
You are ESFP.
The entertainer is a personality type with the extroverted, observant, feeling, and prospecting traits. They can be very social, often encouraging others into shared activities.
So how does that track for you?
Well, I'm not extroverted at all.
But the rest of it, the SFP?
I would say that's pretty accurate, yeah.
I filled in the exact opposite answers of everything you gave me.
Oh really? That is clever. I didn't even know that he was doing that. You see, we're giving people the absolute wrong personality type to see if they'll accept it. So Jesper and I have also done the extensive tests, and we're gonna tell you the 2 results that we got, but we're not gonna tell you who got what. And then you can guess who of us got which one, and then you can guess throughout this video and see at the end whether or not you are right. So the first one we got was the protagonist, or the ENFJ. Politicians, coaches, teachers, passion and charisma. That's basically ENFJ. Then there's the architect, or the INTJ. Intellectually curious, deep-seated thirst for knowledge, creative ingenuity, straightforward rationality, and self-improvement. Which of these 2 do you think is Jesper and which is me?
I am sorry to say this, but it's so obvious. Jesper's the architect, and you're the protagonist.
All right, well, let's see if you're right. But first, let's have a chat with a real MBTI expert, Acid. You're here today because you know stuff about MBTI.
I think it's a very useful tool to analyze people, to get to know them better, for your interactions in just everyday life. I use it like a tool. 16 personalities, it basically splits it into 16 parts.
Yeah.
And you just have to approximate each person to what's closest to them.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. Approximate it to which is closest instead of saying you are 100% like them.
No, that's a misconception. Most people, even in the community, have.
I just want to have the context for the viewer that Jesper is under the desk filming right now.
Professional setup, you know, we're good at this stuff.
It's easier to know how to approach a person by knowing their type.
A lot of people would also argue that it might be dangerous to clarify people.
I think there's a limit to those, yeah. There's like a limit of common sense, I guess, where it's like you obviously shouldn't overgeneralize, but people still use like adjectives to describe each other. I mean, wouldn't that be generalizing?
Oh, that's
not really.
A good point. Though I do know that there's certain countries where they take this very heavily. Like in China, where I am right now. Apparently this country is really into MBTI, and I want to find out more by asking some of the locals. Okay, well, nice to meet you first and foremost.
Nice to meet you.
Right now, I'm here exploring MBTI because at home it's not as popular as we were hoping it would be.
People use that here like daily.
What do you think sparked like the increase in popularity? Like, why are people using it more?
Because like I don't really think about that before. It's a good tag to know some personality.
A quick summary almost.
Yeah, maybe a quick summary and a quick understanding. Maybe that's not accurate, but people know a little bit more about each other. It's kind of like, what's the weather today? Like, what's your MBTI? Yeah. It's kind of more like that today, I think so.
Which one are you?
ENTP.
Well, what is your type? You're
ENFP.
Happy little dog.
Happy little dog. I'm happy already.
Has it changed for you over time, or have you only done the test one time?
Oh, many times.
Has it always been ENFP?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
what would you guess I would be, if you could guess?
You?
Yes.
I think you are INFJ or...
So Quinten, what is one of the main critiques of the MBTI system?
That a lot of people think it's fake, and I don't know what do you want? What's the answer?
The real answer is that it's a pseudoscience, so it's not actually scientific, but it tries or sort of pretends to be very scientific, right?
I know you won't believe me, but that is actually what I meant with that.
Anyway, I think we can test this, right? Because there are more personality tests out there. So what if we try multiple and see which ones are more accurate or less accurate than the MBTI one? The first one is from psychcentral.com. I feel most energetic and focused in the morning, during the afternoon and early evening, late at night.
Morning.
Afternoon, early evening, baby.
Oh, get results. It's results time.
I'm a loyal friend.
Oh, I'm also a loyal friend.
So compared to MBTI, Do you feel like this is more or less accurate?
I am a very loyal friend, I think. My mom always says I'm kind of like a dog.
Yeah, but also anyone who gets this result is going to be like, oh yeah, that's me.
That is true, because no one's going to say, I f***ing hate my friends.
I'm a pit bull.
I'm also a pit bull.
What can we conclude here?
Like, a lot of these personality tests suck,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I guess this does put into perspective why MBTI is so successful. Because first of all, it's functional, the main test that you can take. And it gives you a very in-depth thing. So it can gain its like pseudo-scientific nature through just being very detailed.
Are there downsides of MBTI?
There's stuff in MBTI I don't really believe in. For example, compatibility in types. Personally, I'm ISTP. It says that it has like no compatibility with ENFPs, for example, but personally, I really like them. Like, people take those compatibility things way too seriously, and they're like, oh yeah, like we shouldn't, you know, try to talk to each other. Because I think in daily life, what matters most is your common interests, your personality, as in your healthiness, like how healthy you are as a person.
Well, let's continue with this knowledge and get back to you later. So let's see what the general public thinks about MBTI, knows about it, but also whether or not they can guess which of the types is ours. I'm also curious whether or not you've already figured out who of us is the ENFJ and who is the INTJ. So
So do you know about MBTI personalities?
I know some personality tests, but I did it online before.
Cool. And what do you think of it? Like, do you think it's accurate? Do you think it's useful?
I'm not sure. I don't really believe. Sometimes I just do it when I'm bored.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's like a BuzzFeed quiz almost.
I mean, I have used them, but I don't know if there's like any scientific demonstration of that, if it's actually accurate or not. It's a fun test, but I wouldn't actually believe in it 100%.
Don't really care. I just think everybody should live their life, and I live mine.
That is the nicest way someone has ever said, I don't care.
have you ever heard of MBTI or 16
Oh
personalities?
yes, I have. I've taken the test multiple times.
You've taken them?
Like 7 times. Personally, I think it is useful to a certain level. I had an exchange semester in South Korea, and the second thing they would ask me after my name is, what is your MBTI type? And I feel like they judge a lot based on that.
So it's like what astrology people would do here.
Yeah,
kinda.
personally, I don't believe in astrology, but I am a huge nerd for MBTI, so...
Yeah, so we both did the test, and based on the 17 seconds that you've known us, we'd love to see if you could guess who of us got which.
You're giving me more of an extrovert, and you're giving me more of an introvert, so I'll guess you're the ENFJ one, and you're the INTJ one.
One of us is an integer, and the other one is an envager. Which one do you think is either of us?
You're a bit more welcoming, more extroverted, and even though IE doesn't necessarily mean social introversion, extroversion, it's still a correlation, you know. I think you're the ENFJ, and I think he's the INTJ, and he's more by the book. It seems like he's more detail oriented.
Is it reveal time?
It's reveal time.
It was actually the other way around.
What?
Yes, on both of the tests, I'm the one that gets INTJ, and Jesper got ENFJ. We kind of knew that was going to throw people off.
Oh, see, you basically have a lot of extroverted intuition. I think that's why you threw me off. It's basically when you, for example, have one idea and it goes into many branching paths. It's associated with ADHD, basically.
Oh, I have that too.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's like your strengths are really strong, your weaknesses are really weak.
Right. What are my weaknesses?
For you, it's harder to make new environments into ones that you're comfortable with.
I struggle feeling at home anywhere.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. Well, here you go. Now you know that MBTI isn't completely.
Okay, we've run the experiment now on a lot of people, either in real life or online, and the results are in. It seems like most people are pretty aware whether or not they're an introvert or an extrovert, which makes sense because it's more of a graspable type concept. And they didn't really believe us when we were to tell them that they are the opposite. But the other elements or the letters in the MBTI thing are a little bit more flexible, it seems.
And it makes sense because I know introvert, extrovert. I forget all the other letters all the That echoed for days.
With all that, I think the strongest conclusion is that MBTI can be a really helpful tool, as long as you don't get too intense or graspy about it, you know? Well, thank you so much for coming out here to a complete stranger's house to talk about this today. And the video you see on your screen is one that YouTube thinks you're really gonna like, so let's click it and find out whether or not they're right.